Welcome to My Truth Official with your host, Soulflower. Join me every week as I share wisdom, light, guidance, and truth. If you have arrived here, you are definitely in the right place, and love has guided you here. The truth can be brutal, difficult to hear, and painful to accept. Yet I believe that the truth is absolutely necessary. Thank you for allowing me to serve you with love and truth. The truth doesn't need explanation. It either is or it isn't, or it isn't, or it isn't, or it isn't. Rich Rising, welcome to My Truth Official. I'm officially your host, Soulflower Soul, and I am thankful that you are joining me today. Today, I want to talk about normalizing love. Normalizing love. And I saw a post where someone posted, they posed a question, but they said that you will have more people at your funeral than you will have at your birthday party. And I was like, wow, like that's kind of deep. And I thought that's kind of accurate as well. And then I just started to wonder, like, why would that be? Like, why would you have more people come out to celebrate you in death? You know, are they coming just to make sure that you're dead? Are they coming to view your body or your funeral so they could have something to talk about? Are they coming because the shoulda, woulda, couldas done kicked in and they like, man, this was a cool person, or man, I should have been there for this person. I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Like, did this person know that I love them? Did this person experience love in this life? Did this person know how important they were to me? And let me tell you, those shoulda, woulda, couldas they hit different. They hit a little different. They hit different than grief. They hurt, right? But I was like, why? Why is that? Like, why in God's name would somebody not celebrate someone in life, but come out and celebrate people once they're dead? I think there is like a big, like we all have this in us, right? Like, we are fearful to express to other people like how we really feel about them, because we fear rejection. Like, we fear rejection. So it's easier, I guess, to tell somebody who's deceased, someone who has transitioned, hey, I love you, because they can't be like, ew, or they can't like not accept your love, or not, whatever the case may be, whatever drives us. It's easier to tell somebody who's not living, I guess, how you feel. I don't know why. Because if someone rejects your affection, that has nothing really to do with you, but more so to do with them. I mean, love is free. If somebody's giving you love, why wouldn't you want to accept that love? And I honestly, I had to check myself with this as well. Like, I've learned some things. I had to check myself as well. There's this guy that, you know, we've known each other for a few years, but he's like always like, oh God, you know, he's like, I love you. And it makes me feel some type of way, right? It makes me feel some type of way. Like, and I know in my mind, I'm thinking like, how could you possibly, we know each other, but we don't know each other, right? So how could you possibly just, oh my God, just love you so much? But then I had to check myself actually today. Like, how can I tell somebody how they feel about me, right? To him, that's love. To him, that feeling, whatever that is, whatever love is to him, that's it, right? I can't tell somebody, you don't love me. I can't say that. I had a friend that, he transitioned, I don't know how long Todd's been gone, but he transitioned years ago. And whenever we would talk on the phone, and he taught me this, honest to God, he taught me this. When we would get ready to hang up, he would always say, I love you. I love you. And I would, be forced, to say, I love you too. But when he transitioned, I was like, wow. Like, he knew that I loved him, right? He knew that I loved him, and I knew that he loved me. We weren't in a relationship, nothing like that. That was my friend. That was my homeboy. And there was love, right? There was love. So wherever he is in the universe, he knows that I loved him. So I started doing that to people. Like, I started doing that. Like, I love you. Like, I would tell people I love you. And I started with, like, my older aunts and uncles. And if you've ever really, I started to think it was just like 70s, people that are in their 70s and 80s that don't know how to give, like, good hugs. But I'm finding that it's people, like, a lot of people don't know how to hug. A lot of people give out trash hugs. Because they just be so uncomfortable with human touch. But I used to do that with my older aunts and uncles. Every time I left them or I seen them and we departed, I would be like, I love you, because it taught me that, like, when Todd transitioned, it taught me that people, there's no guarantees. Like, that you see somebody today, you might not see them no more. And if they leave me or leave this world, I want them to know that they matter to me. I want them to know that they were loved by me, right? I want them to know that, and I want them to know that if something were to happen to them, that would leave a big void in my life, right? That they would be missed by me. I wanted them to know that. So, I just start telling people, like, I love you, or and sometimes people will be like, yeah, okay. Like, my aunt and uncle would be like, yeah, or sometimes they would say it back, sometimes they wouldn't, right? And then I got brazen, I would hug them. And then those are, like, some of the most uncomfortable hugs in life, because they don't know if they want to pet you. They don't know what they want to do, right? So that's one thing I can say that I did with my aunts and uncles, and I started doing with people, period. I say that, I love you, because I want people to know. And I was just thinking, like, who taught you that your love has to be exclusive? Love is universal, right? It's not exclusive. Your love is just not for people that you're having sexual relationships with. Your love is not just for people that you're in relationships with. Your love isn't just for your family. Your love isn't just for your kids, your mom, your dad. Like, love is universal, and we're here to love. We're here to share that love with the whole world. And I think there is so much confusion about this. That's why the world is such, like, a shitty place to be right now, right? Because we don't know. We're made from love, we're made of love, and we don't know how to share it. We don't know how to express it, or when we should express it, and when we do express it, we're worried that our love isn't going to be reciprocated. So we hold it inside, and we're just, oh my God, we're just in so much pain because we're just full of love. We're these, like, love bugs, right? And we want to share it, and we're afraid to share our love, right? Which is kind of sad. Like, it's sad. So I said that we need to start normalizing saying to people that, hey, I love you. Hey, good morning, I love you. I remember there was a friend of mine that, I feel like this is like a super stand-up guy. Like, I love this dude, right? I love this dude. He had some problems with drugs, but I was always rooting for him. Like, whether he knew it or not, I was always rooting for him. And even him being on drugs didn't take away anything for me. Like, I think this is a good dude. This is a good guy. And I was like, man, he's just going through something, but I always believed him, and I always knew that he was going to come out on the other side of it. And I remember one time he put this thing up on Facebook, and he was celebrating his sobriety, right? And I was like, wow, I'm so proud of this dude, right? So I get on there and I say, hey, like, man, I'm so proud of you. I knew that you could do this. Good job. I love you. Crickets. Crickets. Like, why don't people know what to do with love? Why can't, when somebody bats love in your direction, receive it? Receive it. Be like, man, I love you too. Like, this has been such a learning experience for me as well. Like, I am even learning in this moment that it's not just other people. Like, I also, like, in certain situations, I am uncomfortable with people trying to give me love, right? Depending on who it is. And it just shouldn't be like that. If someone tells you that they love you, you know what? I love you too. And maybe it's not even the same way that they love you. Because, you know, there are so many different types of love, right? And just because somebody says, I love you, doesn't mean that they want to ram their tongue down your throat. Doesn't mean that they want to be in a relationship with you, that they want to have sex with you. None of the above. It just means that if something were to happen to you, there would be a void in my life. I would be hurt and I would miss you. Right? What's wrong with expressing that to people while they are alive and they can know? What's wrong with that? Like, why don't we know how to do that? Why don't we know how to normalize love? Okay, and okay, we can blame it on our parents, we can blame it on our grandparents, we can blame it on whoever the hell we want to blame it on, but it's unnecessary, right? Blame it on them, okay? They didn't teach us, but now we know that it's necessary. So what is our responsibility, and what are we going to do to change it? Love is universal. We are loving beings. That's what we're here to do, is love. So how do we go about doing it? How do we make this place? How do we change the world that we live in, such a hateful place, into a loving place? How do we do that? How do we do that? Yeah. It's I guess it's not hard. I think we think this is hard. It's gonna be hard. Like, I ain't telling that person I love them. Yeah, but it's why? Why is it so easy for you to tear somebody down than to build somebody up? Why are we so afraid that if we give love, it's not going to be reciprocated? And if you're giving love and you don't receive love in return, as was the case, you know, if somebody doesn't say love back to you, they love you back after you say you love them. Like, are you going to die because they didn't say it back to you? Like, oh, God, I'm never going to, oh, asshole. No. I said I love you to my friend that I was clapping for, that I was proud of, his sobriety, and he's doing good, and he morphed into the person that I always knew in my heart that he could be. Like, because he was on drugs, that didn't mean anything. That didn't change anything for me. Right? And he didn't say it back. So what? That doesn't have anything to do. That means I love him. And I wanted to share that with him. Right? Why don't we normalize love? Love does not just, like I said, we limit it. We take something that's so expansive and so big, and we want to minimize it and make it cheap. I think I'm going to do a whole series about this, because this is something worth discussing. This is something worth talking about. This is something worth talking about. So if nobody told you today that they love you, I just want you to know that I love you. Right? I love you. Like, we do such weird things. Like, I know people that, like, man, I got love for. And we get in disagreements, or we disagree. And then the love is gone. Like, I can't stand. What happened to love? Like, just because we disagree on things doesn't mean that I don't love you. It just means that we disagreed on something, that's my right. But where does the love go? Where does the love go? Where does the love go? And if that's the premise and the foundation that we always stand on is love, then that makes this whole thing so much deeper. Yeah, I'm mad as hell at this person, but do I love this person? Like, if this person wasn't here no more, my life would be a little colder. If this person wasn't here anymore, I would be sad. I would miss them. That's the foundation that we need to stand. That's how we make our decisions. That's how we should make our decisions. We write people off for the most minuscule of reasons, and life was never meant to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Life was never meant to be that way. But we have been conditioned and trained that as long as someone is stimulating you, being that sex, telling you what you want to hear, whatever, long as people are of benefit to you in some form or fashion, they can have your love. But when they are less than you think they should be, or if they take away something that they have been giving you, then we don't love anymore. What is that? Like, those are the things that we need to investigate. I know my son's grandmother, I tell her whenever I talk to her, whenever I'm leaving her presence, she's 83. Whenever I'm leaving her, I always say, I love you. And she'll be like, I love you too, baby. And you can just tell she, like, it lightens her, it brightens her up to hear that. It just makes her feel better. And I think that's what the world is such, like I said, the world is a cold, shitty place now. And that's because, one, we don't have a true understanding of what love is. And I've even understood that for myself. I'm not sitting here saying you guys don't know how to love. I'm thinking myself as well. Like, why when certain people say they love me, it weirds me out, right? Love is universal. If somebody is sharing their cup of love, receive. If somebody wants to share their little cup of love with you, you receive it. Oh, thank you so much. I love you as well. On a universal, they might be madly in love with you. I love you too. Just universal love. So that's just something that I really wanted you guys to think about on this Monday morning. How can we start to normalize love? And why are we so limited and picky and selective in who we share our love with? Kendrick Lamar said that that's what we're here to do, is love. And I agree with him. Like, we are all agents of love. We are all here to give love and receive love. Give and receive. That's why we're here. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And again, I love you. Grow in peace, family. Love. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you would like to support My Truth Official, you can find me on every social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at My Truth Official. Also, in the green room on Spotify, my username is Sage Soul. I thank you guys for listening. Join me and the other Trubians as we continue to uplift each other, support each other, in love. Thank you for listening. You know I love you. Grow in peace. Love.